Good morning, Quad Cities. It is Wednesday, May 28th, 2025. Welcome in to a brand new episode of Ask Andrew Live. I am that Andrew they're referring to in the Ask Andrew Live, meteorologist Andrew Stutzke.
I'm weather anchor Peter Warner.
Maybe someday we'll have an Ask Peter.
That's true. I was thinking if I ever fill in for you on a Wednesday, we'll just kind of draw a line through and add a little scribble.
Yes.
Or something fun.
Morgan's done that before. There's been an Ask Morgan. So yeah, if you ever fill in for me, there has to be an Ask Peter.
We'll just rotate it around.
Exactly. I love that idea. I hope everyone is doing well here on this fine Wednesday. A little wet weather moving through this morning.
I know. When I was driving here to work this morning, there were some pretty heavier pockets of downpours too, even here locally in the Quad Cities.
I would say this overperformed
a lot
my expectations fully, which isn't a bad thing. The more rain we can get, the better off we're going to be.
Yes, exactly. This is the time of year where we want to load up almost.
Exactly. You want to get that in storage before it really starts to get dry here heading into the deeper summer months. So welcome aboard. If this is your first time, thanks for joining us. If you know of a friend or a family member, maybe a relative that might enjoy some deep dives into some weather stuff, give this a share. Let them know. We do this every Wednesday at 9 o'clock here on the 8 Plus app. If you don't have the 8 Plus app for your smart TV, what are you waiting for? Download it on your TV and watch for free. Also, if you have a friend that has a smart TV, let them know. I mean, we have a lot of exclusive content that you can only find on the 8 Plus app. Great resource. So, those of you that are new, how do you get your question to Peter and I? Well, you go here to this text number. Pick up your cell phone, your smartphone, text 309-304-0888, 309-304-0888.
309-304-0888.
I'm going to do that every week. I'm just going to have you say it on the third time.
Yeah, it's just a tradition at this point.
It is. Yeah, it's baked into the program. So that's how you get it to us. Our awesome folks on our digital team, Alec and a few others who are monitoring the stream, they will get us your questions here in studio, so we'll be able to answer those. We're also still live, I believe, on Facebook too, so if you want to put it in the comments section, we can get to that. But the text number, that is the preferred way to get your questions to us. It's the quickest way, and it also guarantees we're going to see them, because Facebook does some funky things with comments.
It does.
Sometimes they disappear, and then they go out of order, and they get shuffled and lost, and yeah.
Yeah, if we leave the live chat,
yeah,
like my phone where I pull up the questions from, it goes away.
Yeah, so I would do the text route. That will guarantee your question gets in the queue. It's not going to get lost. One of us is going to see it, and we're going to be able to answer that for you. So welcome aboard. We got a lot to talk about today. We'll go over the couple of questions that we had this week. One was involving storm motion and why rain bands look like they're bent when you look at them from a distance. And then we had another question from earlier in the week, too, that I'll go over as well. And I got rainfall totals for you.
You got the rainfall totals?
Yeah, I promised you I was going to have those. And I'm looking at the totals from this morning, and I'm like, whoa, where'd this come from?
Caught me off guard.
I said, at most a quarter of an inch. And here we are with some hometowns like Galesburg and a few others showing me up on that number.
Just a little, maybe.
Just a little bit, yeah.
Again, which isn't a bad thing. We aren't going to complain
thing
about overperforming in these type of scenarios.
Exactly. So I'll get you right to those numbers. We'll talk a little weather as we always do. Then we'll get to the questions. And of course, we'll have time to answer your questions as well. So check this out as we load up all the totals here. And you'll also see it on our rainfall accumulation map. Yeah, there was that little corridor from Galesburg, Monmouth through Geneseo and also into Galva. There was a heavier band that just kind of sat there most of the early morning hours and through the commute. So those are the areas that got more than half an inch. You see Galva's on that list, Galesburg's on that list. Rest of our areas, 2/10 to a quarter of an inch, some 3/10, and then some just got nothing. Blank. Look at Sterling, look at Princeton, Burlington, Muscatine. Yeah, sorry guys.
That's okay.
My forecast panned out there.
It did. It did do very well. You kind of nailed this one on the...
Yeah, I'm pretty happy with it because, you notice more of those lower numbers than you do the bigger numbers.
Yes.
There's always going to be a couple of you that love to overachieve, and that's fine. That's great.
That's what we want in these scenarios.
You want to be able to get as much rainfall as you possibly can before we start to see those hotter temperatures move in. Speaking of rainfall, where is it at right now? Let's go to the radar and see what we've got left. Because at last check, when we were doing our little practice one for GMQC at 8, by the way, which is coming up on the 8 Plus app next Monday is the first day. We're excited about that. We still had some showers to the south, and that's still the case. Burlington, Roseville into Henderson, Warren County, a couple of light showers. Looks like a heavier downpour north of Galesburg. But generally speaking, we're really starting to dry things out.
We are. The dry air that we're seeing from that high is kind of taking over a little bit, and we're just kind of seeing, you can see that even into portions of central and western Iowa. You can see that dry air as those showers try and move south. They're not going to be able to do it just yet. I think maybe later in the day we can see them kind of start to trend that way a little bit more, but currently, it's just some more dry air is kind of taking back over and kind of fizzling out off this boundary, at least for now.
And what I'm looking forward to is a repeat of yesterday, and that process is already underway where we get into the afternoon, the clouds start to clear out, we're going to get some sunshine in here today, and we're going to see those temperatures go right back into the low 70s.
It was beautiful yesterday.
Light breeze.
It was fantastic.
It was perfect. Beautiful day to be outside. There you see those clouds thinning already for Muscatine. The sun is likely shining for you. And also more, look at Des Moines. You got a little clearing working in near the metro even. So this will be the trend for the next several hours. We'll see these clouds kind of depart a little bit. I can't rule out a shower or two going into the afternoon, but by and large, the bulk of the accumulating rainfall is now coming to an end for today. And Future Track will show that. It's been doing a great job at least showing the clearing coming in the afternoon. I agree with that. Could there still be a sprinkle or two? Yeah, but it's nothing like this morning.
No.
It's going to be a little cooler tonight. We'll drop probably near 50 or so. But tomorrow we start out dry. I don't see any rain in here tomorrow morning. Once we get into the afternoon, that's when we start to bubble up. I like to call them a little popcorn shower.
Yes, exactly. And it's kind of all off this upper level low that we're seeing.
Yes.
Off this area of high. We have the high pressure that's bringing the dry air, but once you get kind of enough convergence off that low, that downward motion of that cold air, that's kind of what's bringing some of these pop-up showers. And we do have enough moisture in the ground right now too, so there is kind of some saturation that they can build off after we get that clearing in the morning as well, build up a little bit of energy maybe for some rumbles with these as well.
You're so right. Now that the moisture is in the ground, they do have a little bit more they can kind of emit into the air, and that will generate a couple of those. Peter, you were also talking about, maybe some cold air funnel potential tomorrow again because of this setup. Kind of looks similar to what we saw last week.
Yeah, very similar. And I think further north portions probably have the better chance because that's kind of where that low is going to be centered a little bit and tracking. But I mean, obviously everyone has the potential, but again, nothing to worry about. Just cold air funnels.
Exactly. Rarely touch the ground.
Yes.
You notice we never issue tornado warnings for them unless in the rare occasion one does touch down and starts moving along. But in this case, we're not expecting that. No. So things are going to dry out. As we get into the weekend, things are going to warm up as well. We're going to start to see some 70s give way to 80s. As early as Friday will be our first day in the 80s. And once we enter that stretch, we're going to be in it for a while. It's going to be comfortable 80s up until next week. Once we get to Monday, Tuesday, it's going to get a little sticky around here as we bring some moisture back. And one of the other things we're going to be tracking as we go into next week too is going to be the jet stream pattern. And I kind of want to show you that here real briefly. So what we want to look for is a dip in the jet stream to the west of our region. We don't have that here in the near term, but as I advance things into next week, you're going to see a dip come on shore here on the west coast, and you're going to notice it slowly meanders its way into our region. This is about the Tuesday, Wednesday time frame. The dip right now, because we're so far into the future, it's not looking totally solid, all that put together, but this just goes to show us that, yes, we think the storm potential is going to return to the center part of the country as we go into next week. How far east it makes it here and when it arrives is still kind of a wild card. It definitely will be likely beyond Tuesday of next week based on this timing. Really, there's no signal from the Storm Prediction Center on severe weather. We have no outlooks issued. But we were looking at the machine learning, the AI severe weather algorithms yesterday. And for a couple of days next week, I think it was starting Tuesday.
Starting Tuesday, it's kind of
west.
over the Dakotas where we're seeing it. And I was looking this morning, actually, just before we started this. It is slowly shifting, especially on that day 8, which would be Wednesday. We have actually a little bit here into our coverage area on the SIPS model. So we are starting to see the potential, still too far away though, and way too early to tell the track.
Exactly.
As we can see, look how wide, not wide, but kind of with this jet stream setup, it can kind of catapult it anywhere too.
It really can, yeah. Anywhere on the nose of that dip there is where you're going to start to see that severe potential really come to fruition. So when we get closer Don't be surprised if you see a red box or two come up on the 8-day as we get maybe as early as into the weekend, as things kind of become more refined and we get the finer details. But right now we're just kind of in track and see mode at this point.
Yeah, let's kind of wait until.
Yeah.
I mean, it's something to keep an eye on, right? That's, I guess, the way to approach it. Keep an eye on the dynamics are there, just the placement.
Exactly. Plenty of time to sort all that out. And of course, we'll be the first to let you know if we see something that really catches our attention there. But that's what catches our attention right now, is that string of 90s coming in early next week. So again, your Saturday, your Sunday are comfortable. I don't see much in the way of humidity there. But once that wind goes south on Monday, the moisture is going to come in. You know, the corn crop, I went out and looked at it the other day. You know, it's no longer knee-high 4th of July. It's now knee-high the 4th of June. That corn crop is about as tall as my wrist right now in some of these fields. Yeah.
Already?
So it is quickly growing. So it won't be too much longer until we start dealing with the corn sweat factor. And that could be here as soon as 2 to 3 weeks from now. So we will start to feel some of that. And you know what I call that? I call that supercell food. That's what the corn is, because it fuels all those really intense HP supercells that we tend to get around here.
It is supercell food.
So we'll keep an eye on that next week. Certainly I would plan on next week being a stormier week. I've got storms almost nearly every single day next week through the 14-day.
Tuesday through Friday, I think.
Yeah, it looks like an active week. So again, nothing to be concerned about right now, but I'm just giving you that early heads up that we've had a break from storms for a while. That break looks like it will be coming to an end as we go into next week.
Yeah.
It's on the way.
We're kind of due, though.
We are due.
We've had a pretty quiet year so far.
We have. Yeah, we've been very fortunate. We just had that one big, you know, kind of little mini outbreak on Easter Sunday, and since then things have been pretty calm, especially in terms of tornadoes here anyway.
Yes, very quiet.
Not so quiet south of here, of course, unfortunately.
Yes.
Our question from this morning, this was a neat one, and I love the picture that came along with this too, is why does rain look like it's falling, you know, kind of slanted when you're looking at a storm from a distance? This was a gorgeous picture. I love this picture. And if I can ask our director, Brent, thank you so much for dropping the banner there. I apologize. I need to move that a little farther up the screen. But this is gorgeous. I could sit and watch this all day long. And if you were to put this on a time lapse, you would see just that curtain of rain. It almost looks like dust, but that is the rain coming down from the cloud, the heavy rain. You would see it just gracefully move from right to left on your screen. It's such a beautiful process.
It's gorgeous.
It is. It is beautiful. And this is what she was talking about, because you notice that rain shield, or what we call a rain shaft, it's not perfectly straight up and down. It's got some slant to it. And there's a lot of physics involved with this, but it's quite simple to explain why. Obviously, the clouds are moving. And in this case that I'm going to show you here, we have a storm that's moving from the left-hand side of your screen to the right-hand side of your screen. So because that storm is moving, there's also some wind involved with that, not just in the lower part of the storm, but the upper part of the storm. It's kind of dragging that rain shaft along with it. And when you drag something, typically, especially if it's a fluid, it's going to bend. And the example I gave this morning was, take your water bottle, go run with your water bottle, and then hold it out like you're pouring it out. If you were to, you know, capture that on a video and go back and watch it, that stream of water is not going to be pouring straight down.
No.
That stream of water is going to bend because you're moving, and the physics of your movement are impacting that stream of water. There's also friction at play too, because this actually is creating some friction with the ground. A good example of that is tornadoes. How many tornadoes do you see that are straight up and down?
They are not.
Most of them are kind of slanted,
They're very
right?
diagonal.
Yeah, they're sideways. So tornadoes especially have a lot of friction involved with them. They're dragging across the ground. The ground is tending to slow them down and almost kind of pull them away from the thunderstorm itself. In fact, there's been some supercells where the actual tornado has had so much friction on the ground that the actual tornadic part of the storm gets torn away.
Really?
From the storm itself. It's the craziest thing to see on radar, but it's a good example of what's going on here. So that was a really, really good question. I really enjoyed that one. That was cool to look up.
Yes.
The other one we talked about on Monday, I believe, was the whole cold air funnel situation, because we dealt with those recently. So I'll explain that really quickly, because again, this is a possibility as we go into tomorrow, perhaps tomorrow afternoon. So that's your cold air funnel. This was back in Geneseo last year. Great picture of that. It was so pretty. I was so jealous I wasn't home to see that at the time. So we talked about cold air funnels. There's an area of low pressure above these little showers that develop. There's some spin with that. You know, you get a little sunshine, some warm air rising, cold air coming down, stretches the spin, and that's how you get your cold air funnel.
Very interesting.
It is.
And that's the setup we have right now, too.
Yeah, so don't be surprised to see this again as we go through the next couple of days. Again, they're harmless. They don't hurt anything. They don't hurt anyone. Typically don't touch down. They're just pretty to look at.
They are pretty to look at. It's very fun.
Yeah.
Some good shear with those, too.
There is a lot of good twisting motion going on with those. It's just not the kind of shear with a supercell.
No, not super soft shear.
Yeah.
You get the kind of the rotation.
Yeah.
And it's, especially with the setup with that the high and the low on top of each other, that's kind of obviously the clockwise and counterclockwise rotation. You get that a lot.
It's the perfect setup. Now we have some time for your questions. So anything you got weather related, go ahead and hit it up there on the phone number 309-304-0888. And we also have some Facebook comments probably as well that we can get to. Let's see who we've got first off the bat this morning.
Yeah, Jack from Davenport asks, is it hurricane season? Do you think Tropical Storm Alvin is going to turn into a hurricane?
It is hurricane season indeed. And yes, we have Alvin that's turning in the Pacific. It's not unusual to get a storm this early. Remember that hurricane season officially begins on Sunday, which is June 1st. So we're less than a week away from that right now.
We are.
So not too surprising there. I don't think, based on everything that I've heard and I've seen about Alvin, that it's going to turn into this monster storm. But certainly it's going to churn some good water there. And I don't even think it's a threat to land at this time.
No, not
as far as we know.
No. I don't think there will be a land threat just because the pattern that we're seeing in the Pacific right now, too, and the winds probably won't be going too far.
Yeah, you're still dealing with a little bit of some unfavorability in terms of some wind shear and some other things. We have a little graphic. Some of none of this is updated, by the way, but I'm curious if the KML file, just a fancy name for an Earth file that we use, is going to show up on this. It's probably not. Actually, I got to move the arrow there. You know what? We'll do it live.
We'll do it live.
We will do it live. We're going to move our map.
Yes.
So, and it's not there. Nope. You can see what we're talking about, though. That
right
area of disturbed weather right into the Pacific. There's quite actually a line of thunderstorms that's going on there. That's pretty impressive. So nothing showing up there right now. Actually, this might be the Atlantic one only. I think there's a separate Pacific one that might be involved, which is why we're not seeing it. But yeah, Alvin.
The development, yes. I think we saw a 90% chance in 2 days as of yesterday.
Yes.
So and within a week, a 90% chance as well. So very good, likely, I guess, chance that we see it here. Coming in maybe the next 24 hours even, we could see it get named. But keep in mind, it's also meeting some really cool ocean air, or cooler and colder ocean air as it makes its way up the Pacific towards the continental United States, even up towards the Baja of California. So.
Yep, still early.
A little early for that.
Still early. I will tell you, we did get Noah's Outlook. This was last Thursday we got this. So this was after we were done with Ask Andrew. And there's what NOAA thinks is going to happen in terms of your storms. 13 to 19 named storms, 6 to 10 hurricanes, and 3 to 5 major hurricanes. So everybody's kind of clustered with the same numbers. CSU has similar numbers. You can see, though, both forecasts are calling for above average activity.
Yes.
In the Atlantic, I want to specify. This is not the Pacific. So looks like it's going to be another busy season for folks down in the south and southeast.
Warming trends in the Gulf.
Yep.
Play a major role in that.
It was interesting because we talked a couple of weeks ago about how the water was cooler than normal. And just in that last couple of weeks, it's flipped. It's warm again.
Just slightly, but it is still warmer than normal.
There's been this big Bermuda high that's just been parked.
Oh,
and
my
it's
goodness.
baking the water. So
It's been there for so long. So long.
Yep. It's a strong one.
It is.
We'll see what happens.
You will. It's always fun to study, though.
I always told you tropical meteorology would love to do that if it was free.
If it was free. Oh, my goodness. This is from our friend Billy in Clinton. Hey, Billy.
Oh, hey, good morning.
I heard you talking last week about correlation coefficient. My question is, what is it, and does it help to find out a tornado in progress? Also, would like to ask, can that also help out during derechos in tropical systems?
Yes, and I owe Billy an apology because that was the question I was going to talk about this week. And guess whose mind it slipped? This guy. It's okay.
Mine too.
Morning brain, as
Yes.
Peter can tell you, on this shift is terrible. Your short-term memory, basically doesn't exist. So I'm going to write this down to make sure that I remember we cover
take a
correlation.
screenshot.
Yes, correlation coefficient. I will talk about that on Monday for Ask Andrew.
Yes.
But it is a fantastic product, especially during severe weather season, because correlation coefficient, it basically helps us distinguish between what is raindrops and what is not raindrops. For example, debris.
Yes.
We can see that. We can also see during a derecho if there's enough dust involved in the storm. We can see that in the correlation coefficient. So it's a really handy product. And like I said last week, it's hard to interpret if you haven't seen it before.
Yes.
Because
it's confusing.
a whole bunch of crazy colors that we pull up on the screen. We put a legend up there, but I know that a lot of you aren't used to that yet. So we try our best to explain that. So come back on Monday, and I'll give you a deeper dive into correlation coefficient.
You can even use it during winter storms too. It can tell you the difference between, I know when I was covering the blizzards and the switch over to the snowfall in central Iowa over those 2 blizzards they had, it was a great way to visualize it from which sections were still seeing their rain before that switch over to snow as well.
Exactly. And I think you can also use it for hail, if I'm not mistaken,
you can see
too.
hail size in it.
Yeah, you can get that that hail algorithm and detection in that too. So it's a nice product.
I love it.
It's not new to us, but it's new the fact that we're showing it on our map system. We haven't been able to do that for a number of years, and most recently in the last few, we finally are able to do that.
It's very fun to use.
So stick around. I promise you, Billy, I'm not going to let you down next Monday. We are going to talk about correlation coefficient. That's my fault.
It's okay.
There's been a lot going on in Stutzke's life.
Oh my goodness. You deserve a break.
It's been busy. Break is coming.
Break is coming.
In August.
That's true. Oh my goodness. This is just from, let me see this. Oh, okay. This is just from Randy. He was wondering if we could maybe have like an evening forecast for sporting events, musics, and concerts and stuff. So that would be fun.
We can definitely do that.
Yeah, we can work on that maybe.
We have
baseball, Little League forecast or something.
Yes. You've been talking about a golf forecast. You've been wanting to do some golf
I want to
forecasts.
do a golf forecast very bad.
Yeah.
I just built a new boating forecast for you.
Yeah.
So that one's going to be there soon. We can build some more.
We can definitely add to our inventory.
Yes.
There is no maximum space when it comes to how many graphics we can build. So that's a fantastic idea. We can do that. I need to be a little bit better about watching our community calendar. We have a fantastic one on WQAD.com. There's concerts going on. Like you said, there's baseball games. I need to be a little bit better at paying attention to that. So I'm gonna work on that.
Yeah, we'll get it done. But it's always fun.
Yeah.
If you have anything special, let us know.
Yeah, I mean, you can even send us a message like, hey, give me a forecast for this thing that I've got going on tonight. We're happy to respond. That's what we're here for. We're here to help you guys. So no question is too dumb or too stupid or too small, too big. If you want us to give you a personalized forecast for your wedding even, I mean, I think most of us would be willing to help you out with that too.
Of course we would,
It's just a quick little response and we can do that quickly.
Oh, yes. Yes. It's very fun.
Yeah.
So, yeah, not seeing too much else as of right now.
Everybody's so quiet today.
It's a very, mellow week, I feel like, with the weather pattern we've been seeing. Mm-hmm. It's kind of, it's nice. You want to just kind of sit back, relax, and enjoy.
I think everybody, too, must be kind of, trying to still catch up from that long weekend and all of that stuff, getting things organized and goodness.
Oh, my goodness. It's been kind of,
It's been a whirlwind.
It's been a whirlwind of a week, that's for sure.
Yeah.
That is for sure.
I do want to load up. It's going to take me a minute, so I want y'all to stand by. But I'm going to see, we just got new video this morning, and we showed this on GMQC of some of the tornado damage from St. Louis.
Oh, we did?
Yes, right around Memorial Day. I'm going to pull this into our system, so I'm going to need a minute. I'm going to ask maybe Brandy if we can go to, if you have a quick shot of an eagle eye, perfect, thank you, while I transition this and get this in our system, because this video was wild. I'm actually going to post this to social too, coming up a little bit later this morning. Just showing the power of the wind that was coming through, tossing cars like they're nothing.
Really?
And I'm not talking about like a video that has cars way in the distance. This video was so close. In terms of what you're able to see, I'm just blown away. Oh, there's an old picture. We're gonna get rid of that.
It kind of just shows too how lucky we've been to be so quiet.
Yes, that too.
Because I was looking this up, and with the help of Chief Meteorologist Chris Kubal at OI, or our sister station in Des Moines, we found the data Guess how many tornadoes so far in May and Iowa?
How many?
0.
0, really?
0.
And how unusual is that?
That's only happened 5 times
5
since
times?
1950. Last time 2010. So, yeah.
Oh my gosh, that's
It's kind of
crazy.
put in perspective, right? How little we're seeing compared to normal.
Yeah, May is usually our busiest month.
Yeah.
In terms of severe weather total. And the fact that you've been that quiet over there is
And even
miraculous.
Yeah, here. And for a lot of our Illinois viewing area, I feel like aside from Easter, it's been very quiet as well.
Yeah,
Second
especially
to
in
our south.
north half of the area.
Yeah, north half of the state of Illinois has been very quiet as well.
Well, we'll just hope that luck holds
Yeah.
for the next several weeks. We'll see again what happens next month as we get into June. There's the video, by the way, and that I had not seen this. This morning was the first time I saw this. The tornado racing through. It almost looks like maybe an apartment complex that perhaps this was taken at. And I'll let this re-rack a couple of times. Somebody was, I didn't even see this.
I didn't even see him in his
Somebody was in their car.
Oh, no.
So this is the first time I'm seeing the entire video because we only play a little snippet on TV in the morning. So here we go. Yeah, in the car.
Oh, my goodness. There it moves through.
Isn't that something? Blew the windows out, lifted the car, moved it into the other car to the right of it. I mean, that is just, wow.
Incredible strength.
Yeah, and just the fact that it's a close-up video like this. Usually the video angles are terrible and it's foggy and you can't see anything, but this is a very clear shot of what happened as that tornado went through. And my goodness, I mean, very fortunate the car wasn't picked up any further. I don't know how many times, we have this debate of when you're in your vehicle, do you stay in your vehicle or do you abandon it? In this case, I don't know what the situation was, but decided to stay with the vehicle, and thankfully it wasn't any worse, the outcome that is.
Yes.
But it is definitely dangerous to stay in the vehicle. If you're near a building that you can get out and at least get inside of a building, that's what's recommended. Because as you see here, gentleman lost all of his windows are gone, the windshield's gone. It picked the vehicle up. Watch this, how it just moves it.
Wow.
Right there. I mean, and look at the debris that's also flying around and, probably flying into the vehicle and could be pelting the person that's inside there too. So what an impressive video. And it just goes to show the power of these storms.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's been a busy season so far.
It has. Yeah. Unfortunately, it's the same areas that have been impacted all year long. It started in the winter.
It started in the
right
winter.
down south with severe weather.
Yes, from Missouri out towards your Tennessee, Kentucky, carrying into Mississippi, Alabama, Georgia.
Just continues to put itself on repeat. And we get spared. And I'd say we're thankful for that, but you know what? The people to the south of us aren't thankful that they're getting all this severe weather. So
No, they're not.
I think we have a lot to be appreciative of here in our region this year so far. Hopefully it stays that way.
Hopefully it stays that way.
That's our hope anyway. Any other last call for questions? Anything new coming in, or are we all caught up?
All caught up.
Okay, very good. I want to remind you guys that we are launching a brand new newscast exclusively on the 8 Plus app. And that's going to be GMQC from 8 to 8:30. So what we did is we took a deep dive into the data, all the data, what you guys are watching, when you're watching, all that good stuff. No, it's not creepy. It's all of our data in-house. So, it's not being sold to anybody.
Yes.
But what we saw was there are a ton of people that are rewatching the 6 o'clock hour of GMQC.
At 8 to 9.
At 8 to 9 o'clock. So we put our heads together and we're like, you know what? How about instead of a rerun, we just give you an actual live newscast from 8 to 8:30?
It's fantastic.
And it may eventually expand to 9. Who knows?
Who
It
knows?
could be in the plans. We'll see.
We'll see.
But yeah, starting next Monday on the 8 Plus app, we have GMQC, a live version of it, by the way. It's not recorded. It's not a rerun. It is live from 8 to 8:30.
News 8 at 8.
Yeah, News 8 at 8. GMQC 8 at 8. Whatever you want to call it. It doesn't really have a special name right now. We just call it GMQC, but
GMQC at 8.
who knows? Maybe in the future we will. But we hope you guys will join us. That'll launch for the first time on Monday. I'll be there, and then we'll be rotating kind of back and forth between Devin and Ava. It's not going to be probably all three of us all at once. It'll be myself along with either Devin or Ava, but we're looking forward to it.
It'll be very fun. I'm excited.
That'll really make the morning go by quick.
Oh my goodness, it's going to fly by.
Yeah.
Fly by you.
Yep. You can never say that we never do anything around here. I mean, we're just constantly on the run, so that's good. That keeps us young, right?
Keeps us young, keeps us moving.
Gotta look young for TV.
You have to.
People still think I'm in my 20s.
I did.
I know. I love that. Hey, I'm doing something right, I guess.
You're doing a lot right.
With the beauty
You're
regimen.
doing a lot right.
Bless you. All right, we'll let you guys go ahead and enjoy the rest of your Wednesday. Thanks for hanging out with us. We'll see you next week. Have a great Wednesday, Quad Cities.
Continue with us and watch free now on the 8 Plus app everywhere you stream.